There's no frustrating thing than thinking your interview was on Teams, but it really is on WebEx and your computer does not have WebEx. Hello. Now, mid-year is over. And guess what? You got on-site. Now, I'm only speaking to how the setup was during my time. Of course, again, everything is virtual now. So I'm not sure if on-site is going to happen right after or week after. I don't know, okay? But I'm sure there will be on-site. What is on-site? A company is now interested in you. So after mid-year, they've now invited you to come and meet their broader team, okay? So the steps are still similar to what you did for your mid-year interview. Review those same steps again, go over your behavioral questions, all the projects that you've worked on, be able to pull out your responses for those behavioral questions from your experiences, okay? Follow the STAR method. Also, your digital portfolio, where all the relevant presentations that you've worked on or any project that you just find unique and showcases your leadership skill set and showcases what you're about, what's going to make you stand out from other candidates, have that handy as well. Another point. Now, you want to review the agenda, review the schedule. They're going to send it to you ahead of time, either a day before, 2 days before, a week, what have you. Just make sure you review it. Go on LinkedIn and look at each interviewer. What I did, I had a black book. Well, I always have a black book. Anyways, so I have a book where I take notes as to who it is that I'm interviewing. And I would have a page dedicated to each interviewer. I have their name, and then I have their education, what year, what degree, and then the next line I have experiences, and then I have the year, what position, what company. This is what I typically do. Now, what benefit it does is that one, you get to know your interviewers ahead of time. Then what's also helpful is that you can even develop questions as you're looking through their, as you're looking through their profile. You may be able to develop questions to ask them. Who knows? Maybe you went to the same school. Maybe you worked at the same company. You worked at the same hospital. You had a rotation there. You just never know. And you never know where you'll be able to find this common ground. How do you say it? You may be able to find something that you both have in common. That's a great way to start a conversation. Hello. Listen, any points is going to help you at this point. So whatever it is that's going to work towards your benefit, you want to be on it. Now, so after you get to know your interviewer and you're able to maybe come up with 1 or 2 questions from their profile. I should have said this with mid-year interviews as well. Always have your questions ready for them. So a good way to come up with questions, one, I already talked about it, from their LinkedIn profile, as well as the job description of the fellowship. Read the fellowship description in and out. Know the position fully well. And what are the gaps that you still feel have not been filled from their job description? Ask those questions from the interviewers, Also feel free to ask about leadership opportunities, what are, in addition to what maybe it's Rutgers or what have you. There are so many different fellowships out there. So I'm not just speaking just to the Rutgers fellowship. Obviously, that's what I completed and that's the only thing that I can speak to. But you make sure, I'm sure you have applied for all of them. Now, keep in mind, if the question has already been answered through the brochure, through their discussions that they've had with you so far, don't ask the same question. If it's already been answered, please, if you ask a question that's already been answered, I would know that you haven't done your research, okay? But have your questions ready. And I should have said that for mid-year interview, but we're talking about on-site now. So have your questions ready. Now, this is the time where you need to research your role in and out for on-site, because you're not just going to be meeting with one person. You're going to be meeting with multiple people, whether it's going to be individually or as a panel, and they're all going to be firing questions to you back and forth about your experience from your CV, about the position, why you interested in the company, why this position, what do you know about the position, do you even know what medical affairs is about, do you even know what clinical development is about, what is it that you know about the position. Make sure you know it in and out and be ready to speak to it. Okay? And then some of you may have to present. Now the question goes, what should I present? So I only had to present at one on-site. And the question then became, should I be creative and come up with something like completely different and unique, or should I present a presentation that I've already presented in the past? And this was something that I kind of went back and forth. And of course, I went to my mentor at the time. And some of you may or may not know him, George. He mentors everybody. And I have asked him if it's okay to mention his name in this video. But, so George, he was very helpful in guiding me that, perhaps you may not have enough time to present a deck straight, right from scratch. You may not have enough time to create a presentation right from the scratch. So look through presentations that you've done in the past and sort of tweak it and update it and personalize it for it to be relevant for that on-site interview. And initially I was just like, but I'm trying to show off. But at the same time is not your best friend. You have limited time. So for me, I had to use a presentation that I presented at one of my rotations. And I just updated it and, tweaked it up a bit, and it was fine. Okay. And that's what I did. Also at the presentation, make sure that you've prepared, you've practiced. That goes for also, behavioral questions. Practice with your friends. I practice my tell me about myself in front of the mirror a lot of times, okay? So it might sound crazy, but it works. Trust me, it does. Anyways, okay, so also remember to close the on-site interview. Just like you close the mid-year interview, close the on-site interview. Thank them. Thank you so much for inviting me for this on-site, for letting me have the opportunity to meet the extended team. I am very well and highly and strongly interested in this role because of X, Y, and Z, and I believe I'll be a great fit for this fellowship. Also, don't forget all the fellows that you've been talking with, leading up until this time, all those phone calls, those long phone calls, y'all know who you are, that you've been having with fellows. Feel free to talk about that. I spoke with Basirat, and she speaks highly of her experience at this company and X, Y, and Z. So feel free to throw those in there, but make sure you close the interview. At the end of, make sure you close the interview, and don't forget to ask for their emails, because you want to send those thank you emails in less than 24 hours. That's what worked for me. That's what I try to do. I'm not saying that's what everybody does, but do whatever works best for you. Okay. Now, we have talked about a lot of things, but we have not talked about how to prepare for virtual interview. Most, if not all, your interviews are going to be remote. They're going to be virtual. They're going to be online. So you need to prepare for this. You need to prepare. First things first, make sure you understand the platform that your interview is going to be taking place. There's no frustrating thing than thinking your interview was on Teams, but it really is on WebEx, and your computer does not have WebEx. Hello. That happened to me. Not for mid-year, obviously, but my current role, I started this current role within this whole, virtual situation. So I can relate with you or relate to you of having to find the next opportunity in this whole virtual system or virtual life. Okay, so you need to make sure that you understand, is it going to be on Zoom, Teams? Is it going to be on WebEx, on Skype? Whatever it is, make sure that it's downloaded on your computer. ahead of time. If you have a slow computer like I did, it needs to be downloaded like yesterday, okay? Not today, yesterday. And in addition to that, you need to make sure that you practice with your friends. Make sure that they download the same system on their computer. So let's say Teams, for example, make sure they download Teams on their computer, and then they're able to call you, and you guys can both turn on your camera and make sure that it works, okay? Also, make sure that your computer has a functional webcam or a functional camera. That should have come first, and it's functional. So while you're practicing with your friends, make sure that your computer is actually clear, because you want to make sure that they see you clearly, they see you appropriately. You don't have the opportunity to be there live, so literally they're just going to be seeing the same way you're seeing me right now. They're just going to be seeing you from your waist. You can't see my waist, all the way up. This is all they see, and it needs to be clear, okay? So make sure that your computer actually has a functional webcam, or whether it's webcam they call it, or camera. You get the point. Okay. Lighting, you all. And maybe I need to link where I got my lighting, because trust me, this where I am right now, the lighting is not this bright. I can't drag it here, but I have a huge, one of those lights that you use for photo shoots. Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm extra. So that's the lighting that I have. And even when I was interviewing during this whole pandemic situation, I had this light and, basically facing me. Another thing you can do is if you have a window wherever you are, and you're able to set up your table right in front of it. So as I'm facing you right now, maybe you can face outside, face the window, so that the light is basically shining on your face, and then that's great. Now, what you need to be careful about is you need to be careful about what's behind you. For interviews, I'm not gonna lie, I did just white walls. So I don't want to move this camera. Actually, let me move it. So if you were interviewing me, you would not see those two pictures that I had, but I made it such that I had a back. Okay, now you can see my curtain, but basically you get my point. I made it such that this is why I didn't want to change this. Okay, so when I did my interviews, I made it such that my whole background was just white walls. So obviously these photos went there, or these artworks, which are so lovely. They weren't they weren't behind me, but I just had a plain background. Feel free to do what you want. If you want to have a plain background, if you want to show some personality, feel free. Do whatever pleases you, but just make sure that it's presentable and it's not crazy. Make sure that if you're doing it in your bedroom, your room is tidy. I personally wouldn't want to have my bed in the background, Some people would have like a bookshelf. Some people may have some form of personality just to because these days, even at work, and again, this is after I've gotten the job, obviously, some people use it as a form of a conversation starter. I just have this up here because I like them and I just think it's cute, but this is not what I had for my interviews. I just had like a plain white background, and it's very easy. Just go and find where you have a plain background, and it doesn't have to be white, it could be any color, a plain background, and move your table to be facing in the opposite direction such that the background is at your back. I don't know if that makes any sense, okay? But again, just be presentable. Now, in terms of your outfit, I know a lot of us have gotten used to this whole dressing from the waist up, and that's about it. I would advise if you're going to be wearing a suit for the most part. So if you're going to be wearing a suit for the most part. So I would advise just wear the full thing. You already have the white shirt and the blazer on top. And for guys, y'all already have your tie. You might as well just put on your pants. Because you just don't know. You never know. Your computer may just fall forward. You may have to get up to go somewhere, to quickly use the restroom. I don't know. You may have to get up to go find something. You don't want to get up and then if you had like your pajamas pants and then they see your pajamas, like you just want to be on the safe side. You know, you can wear your pajama pants, what have you. Do as you please, but I would advise and I would recommend that you should just wear the full thing. And you know, it just puts you in the mood, like, you know, it boosts up your confidence. Okay, so I would just say dress. I mean, obviously I'm not telling you ladies to go put on your heels. Nobody's gonna see that unless you want to be in the full interview mode, you know, 100%. And I did that, low-key, I did that, but that's a whole different conversation. So I would say wear the suit, you know, and wear the pants or the skirt that goes with the suit, just in case. You just never know if you have to get up or your computer camera just falls forward and then they see, you know, what you have wearing. Excuse me, they see what you're wearing. I'm just, yeah. See? My phone just fell. Excuse me. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that your hair is, you know, it's neat. This is their only chance that they're going to get to see you. So you want to come correct. Listen, if you knew me outside of this whole YouTube, or if I've ever spoken with you, well, I mean, a lot of you that are watching this haven't had a conversation with me in the past. But those who know, when it comes to like how you're dressing up when all these interviews were live, I go in. I go in. But granted, we don't, you know, all of this is going to be virtual. Still look neat. Your hair has to be presentable. You know, make sure it's clean. Whether it's a nice haircut or your hair or your weave or your wig or your braids or your cornrows, what have you, your dreads, I don't care. Just make sure that it's neat and it's presentable, okay? Your suit, I don't need to tell you that you should not be wearing a red suit to an interview. Please, let's stick to navy blue or black or like dark gray, okay? I know everything is virtual now. Unless they tell you to dress whichever way, I would stick to wearing outfits as if I was actually going to be, I'll stick to wearing the interview outfit as if I was having the interview live, okay? Like having it in person, okay? So don't go and be wearing a t-shirt, please, okay? And last but not least, smile. Smile, 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 okay? Listen, you have a beautiful smile that nobody else has, okay? So please flaunt it, okay? And flaunt it with confidence. You've gotten here, you've gotten to this level. You've gotten this far, okay? You can't get it to the end. You are going to get that fellowship. Have that confidence in yourself that yes, I'm going to get this fellowship. All right. You're the one who owns your experiences. You did all that work all by yourself. You did that. Okay. All right. I'm only screaming because I just want to reemphasize that, you know, have confidence, smile, and let the rest just play out by itself. Okay. All right, y'all. On that note, I wish you well. If you have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the comments section. I'll try as much as possible to be looking through. If you have any last minute questions, I'll try to look through and answer them to the best of my knowledge. But thank you for watching. Till next time.
Come on, let's get it. Let's go.